gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to the 16th edition of School of Tomorrow events, Guardians of the Future, Shaping Tomorrow with Generative AI. The non-profit SOT event series was launched by Beacon House in 2000 to engage global communities in conversations that shape the future of schools and societies. I'd like to thank Google for Education, the lead sponsor for SOT 2023, and their partner Tech Valley. Our titanium sponsor for the event is UBL. Our key sponsors include My Backpack, MK Books, Allied Bank Limited, Habib Bank Limited, Wateen, and Franklin Covey, and LIM, Leader in Me. We also thank our SOT supporters, including Paramount Books and Nestle Pure Life, who have contributed to this year's event. I am Aisha Ali, and I am the head of school at Beacon House, Gulshan Campus, Rawalpindi. Please take a moment to note down these important housekeeping points. Please ensure your cell phones are on silent. Entry and exit points are the same. Always stay calm and follow the directions. Please use the SOT app to scan the QR code for question and answer session and also for the feedback. Share your thoughts on our social media using the hashtags Guardians of the Future and hashtag SOT 2023. If you need assistance, our ushers are here to help you. For questions, please either use the flashcards provided by the ushers or the mobile app. The panel discussion will last for about 45 minutes, followed by 15 minutes of question and answer session. Our second session for today is a panel discussion. Topic for the discussion is Courage, Commitment, and Championship, the sports story. Moderator for the panel discussion is Mr. Rai Azlan Shahid. Mr. Rai Azlan Shahid is a versatile professional with an MSc in marketing from the University of the West of England. He served as the head of the digital media wing at the Pakistan Cricket Board, elevating Pakistan's cricket presence in the digital realm. Azlan offers freelance consultancy in ENG production and sports social communications, advising prominent sports organizations also. His media management roles include stints with the Mardan Warriors in the Pakistan Junior League 2022 and the Karachi Kings in the Pakistan Super League 2023. Over to you, Azan.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to the 16th edition of SOT events, Guardian of the Future, Shaping Tomorrow with Generative AI. As the moderator of today's panel, which one is my mic? Okay. I'm sorry, I have sore throat. As the moderator of today's panel discussion titled Courage, Commitment, Championships, Sports Story, it is my distinct honor and pleasure to welcome you all. Today's panel discussion promises to be an exciting discussion on sports. Without further ado, allow me to introduce our distinguished panels. Mr. Ali Tareen is here. Ali Tareen is a young business leader with a strong focus on innovation across multiple domains. A graduate of the University of Oxford, he holds leadership role in cricket, agriculture, agri-sciences, dairy, sugar, mining, and energy sector. Ali Tareen owns and leads successful Multan Sultan franchise, a dominant cricket team in Pakistan Super League. With a view of nurturing the next generation of cricket, Ali steers the Tareen Sports Academy, which places a strong emphasis on the advancement of women's cricket. Next we have Ms. Marina Iqbal with us. Marina Iqbal is former Pakistan cricket player and first woman commentator from Pakistan. She has captained Pakistan A and was vice captain of Pakistan cricket team. She has represented Pakistan for 10 years and played 3 T20 World Cups and 1 ODI World Cup. She started her commentating journey in 2018, covered PSL, ICC Under-19 World Cup, and plenty of cricket in Pakistan from both men and women cricket. Next we have Mr. Jose Alonso. He is a qualified instructor in football, horse riding, skiing, snowboarding, and wakeboarding. He is a FIFA certified football coach and Spanish championship winner in various football disciplines. He assisted ATL Madrid during his Asian tour in 2013. He is the founder of SFA Spanish Football Academy Pakistan, where he has developed tailor-made program for Pakistan in collaboration with top Spanish football academies. He takes on various community services projects where he trains hundreds of students in underprivileged schools in Chitral, Rawalpindi and Islamabad. We don't have him here yet, but he'll be joining us soon. Mr. Mohammad Hafiz is former Pakistan international cricketer. Mohammad Hafiz, former Pakistan captain of Pakistan national and international cricket team. Hafiz was a versatile batsman who could bat anywhere in top 6 and formed part of bowling attack. He played as a spin bowling all-rounder for a majority of his career. He is a legend of Pakistan cricket and professor of cricket world. Hafiz was a member of Pakistan team that won 2017 Champions Trophy. He is playing various international leagues all over the world and splendid consistency till now. Ladies and gentlemen, हमें कहा गया कि हम इसको mix कर सकते हैं with Urdu and English. So, in many nations, the love for a particular sports runs very deep. It's like part of their social culture fabric. पाकिस्तान के केस में या इस रीजन के केस में कह सकते हैं it's cricket that goes beyond being just a game. But हमने ये भी देखा है कि there has been a change in shift. हमें modes में नजर आया like there is a rising interest in football now. There's a rising interest in women's cricket now जो कि आपके जो traditional molds हैं उनसे हट के है. So इन सब stories के through हम ये जानना चाहेंगे कि वो कौन सी चीज़ें हैं sports की जो कि ना सिर्फ sports बल्कि हमारी society के भी change में एक impact create करती हैं. So अब conversation start करते हैं because मैंने काफ़ी बोल लिया है. So my first question is from Ali. How do efforts to elevate less popular sports in traditionally dominating region question reshape and enrich the broader sporting landscape? और मैं आपसे इसलिए पूछ रहा हूँ because आपने साउथ पंजाब में काम किया वुमेन क्रिकेट के हवाले से जिस रीजन में इतना नहीं होता. So what do you think about that?
देखिए, I'm a big fan of many sports. Obviously, cricket is a big passion of mine. I played myself, but I'm a big football fan, for example. I'm very happy to meet Jose today. And I really feel Pakistan is ripe to start a proper footballing league and a footballing industry within the country. We have talent all over the world, all over the nation, especially in the north, especially in Balochistan. So I think we have the ingredients are there, but we need a structure. Many times we've seen the government making an effort with the Pakistan Football Federation, but it's a political mess between rival factions, so they're never letting the players actually get the training or the game time they need. We have people coming in with private leagues, but most of them are just cash grabs where they just want millions of dollars up front, and then they're not interested in actually growing something from a grassroots level up. So it's sad to see the current state, but I think if there's a collective effort at a grassroots level, in more of a collaborative approach, hey, how about these 6 owners who want to start these leagues? Let's collaborate and have a shared system where we are all trying to create this league, fund this league, and set it up. So future mein jaake this becomes a big thing. So I think if it's a more collaborative approach there, sports like football and hockey can be revived in Pakistan. And just as a quick example, in Lodra, where I spend most of my time, there was no cricket. There was no cricket league, there was no women's cricket, there was no men's cricket. So the way we started was, again, at a grassroots level, we made an academy, we made a ground, we started a cricket league where people were playing every week. And I was talking to Jose about this earlier, unless it's not just one flashy tournament, but you have to have a grassroots level pathway system where people are training regularly in decent facilities, and there's a league where they're playing every week against their peers. And over time, it took us about 5 years to develop the first ever first-class player from Lodha. So we did it because we started at the grassroots level and built it in a non-flashy way, slowly up, where the players are benefiting. So I definitely think there's big scope in Pakistan.
Jose, I come to you with this question. Why Pakistan, of all the places to promote football here?
Well, that's a tough question. It could be, I didn't choose Pakistan because of it was a cumulus of circumstances, like with my family, I was living in Asia already. I lived in Singapore, then Hong Kong. And then when I came to Pakistan, I thought that it was much needed. But I wouldn't expect to encounter so many difficulties in developing something that is in the interest of everyone. next step, probably the people who should be more involved, which is the government. And
Right. As compared to cricket, football is less popular. So what are the challenges to promote this sport here in Pakistan?
no, I don't. Look, I don't think sports in general should compete against each other. I think when you have an array of sports that children can choose from, and actually I believe in practicing them all, and then you'll see. But I believe in practice them and compete. As Ali well said, on a grassroots level, it's very important a regular league. I'm tired of seeing tournaments here that, they make a big boom and it's a 3-day tournament. And then you can find 4 or 5 of those across the country. There's really no league where the children, compete in a healthy manner, Then they're going to want to, to do better. As Ali said, yeah, there is a lot of talent in Pakistan, but if you don't find it, if you don't promote it, it dies there. So I always say, that talent, to see it as potential, that potential you have to groom and direct. But it's not just for a sport or to make, the next Pakistan champion. It's just now you will see maybe not so much in rural areas, right? But I see the Pakistani children here in the schools, and I see the way they move. And believe me, it's clumsy. It's not an athletical move, like I think schools should, revise their sports program and get, proper, and, have better PE teachers who they're not just doing jumping jacks, you know what I mean, or using that PE class to prepare for the, for the gala or.
मरीना, I will come to you. आपने जिस ज़माने में क्रिकेट खेलनी शुरू की, अब भी खैर टैलेंट पूल उतना नहीं है ख़वातीन का, बट उस वक्त तो इतना कम था कि आपको भी पता है कि माय ब्रदर यूज्ड टू बी द नेट बॉलर एंड विकेट कीपर एट योर गेम्स. सो उस ज़माने में इस खेल की तरफ आना, इसको प्रमोट करना, इसको नॉर्मलाइज करना दैट वुमेन कैन प्ले क्रिकेट इन पाकिस्तान. सो हाउ हैज़ दैट जर्नी बीन सो फार, और अभी भी क्या चैलेंजेस हैं आपके?
देखिए डेफिनेटली आई थिंक कि खाली क्रिकेट की बात नहीं है. विमेन स्पोर्ट ओवरऑल टैलेंट तब भी मौजूद था, अब भी मौजूद है. जैसे हुसैन ने कहा, वी नीड टू आइडेंटिफाई देम, वी नीड टू प्रोवाइड देम द इन्वायरमेंट. एंड आई थिंक कि इसमें बहुत बड़ा रोल होता है, स्पेशली स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम, अगर मैं अपनी बात करूँ, मुझे मेरी जो घर है उसमें इन्वायरमेंट मिला था स्पोर्ट्स का, और नेक्स्ट इन्वायरमेंट जो मुझे मिला जिसने बेसिकली मेरी फाउंडेशन सेट की थी, वो मेरा स्कूल और कॉलेज था. सो आई थिंक कि अभी थोड़ा सा जिम्मेदारी यहाँ पे कम हमें नज़र आती है. स्कूल्स एंड कॉलेजेस में ग्राउंड्स की इंपॉर्टेंस को हम नहीं समझते, चाहे वो क्रिकेट हो, चाहे वो कोई भी स्पोर्ट हो. एक फिजिकल एक्टिविटी नहीं है ये ओवरऑल आपकी एक पर्सनैलिटी, आपका एक करेक्टर डेवलप करती है. तो आई थिंक अगेन विमेन स्पोर्ट्स में ऑब्वियसली इन्वायरमेंट, जैसे हमारे कल्चरल इशूज़ हैं, लिमिटेशंस अब भी हैं, लेकिन एक्सेप्टेंस काफ़ी ज़्यादा आ गई है. अब उस एक्सेप्टेंस में हमें एक दूसरे की हेल्प करनी है. एंड आई थिंक अगर आइडेंटिफाई करके एक इन्वायरमेंट क्रिएट किया जाए और बूस्ट किया जाए हमारे रोल मॉडल्स. तब जब मैंने क्रिकेट स्टार्ट की थी तब वुमेन क्रिकेट में कोई रोल मॉडल नहीं था. अब आपके पास बहुत सारे रोल मॉडल्स हैं. अगर आप देखें क्रिकेट की मैं खाली बात करूँ तो सना मीर इज़ द बिगेस्ट नेम, और अब बिस्मा मारूफ है, निदा डार हैं. तो ऑब्वियसली ये रोल मॉडल्स को अवेयर करवाना यंगर जनरेशन से ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. एंड आई डू बिलीव कि interaction is very important when it comes to helping the younger generation to understand and make them sure कि आप as a female इस sport को, किसी भी sport को as a profession ले सकते हो. It's about time. And obviously अगर आप पूरी दुनिया में देखो, there obviously is a little bit lack of structure here, but अगर हम combine होके एक चीज़ को identify करें and we all try कि we need to neutralize it कि ये एक profession हो सकता है लड़की के लिए भी, कोई भी sports हो. तो आई थिंक ऑब्वियसली इसमें काफ़ी रोल्स आ जाते हैं. एंड अगेन आई फील कि अब अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ हैं, अब एक्सपोजर इतना है, हमारे टाइम पे एक्सपोजर नहीं था, बट स्टिल वी हैड द पैशन, वी हैड द इन्वायरमेंट. और मेरे लिए क्लियर था आफ्टर स्कूल, आफ्टर कॉलेज कि मुझे इस प्रोफेशन में जाना है. एंड देयर इज़ एन इंटरेस्टिंग स्टोरी कि मेरी मदर, शी वाज नेवर इन फेवर ऑफ मी प्लेइंग स्पोर्ट्स. माय फादर वाज, because he belonged to an army background, he was very interested in physical activity. But मैंने जब PCB के लिए trials दिए थे, मैंने अपनी मदर को नहीं बताया था. I went from the college without letting her know. I got selected and I came back and I told her. And next day she went with me and she saw कि वाकई ये कुछ खेल सकती है या ये पढ़ाई से भागने के लिए जो है वो स्पोर्ट्स में जा रही है. तो I think कि घर वालों का रोल सबसे बेसिक होता है. Again, it's not about gender, it's about the skill level, it's about the potential, and we need to be as elders, as parents, and anyone who's your friend who likes to play any sport. I think it's more about just pushing and making her believe, yes, you can do it, you're good enough. And then creating environment and playing your own role in your society, कि कैसे ये चीज़ें आप normalize कर सकते हो. Because again, I'll say there is a lot of potential. We just need a little bit of push as a society, as individuals, to make this happen.
Uh, the best thing about sport that I feel is that it's a unifier. I feel that in those societies where sports are neglected, extremism grows up. So, considering that sports as a unifier, how can they serve as bridges to connect communities and transcend differences? Ali, I'll start with you.
I completely agree. Sports has much more of an impact in a community than just entertainment. So we run 86 government schools in District Lodha. So because it's the government syllabus, there's no art, there's no sports as part of the curriculum. So what we do is we adopt the government school, which again runs for free, but we add teachers and infrastructure. But one thing we add is both sports and art in the curriculum. And what we found is once we added sport, and people, this is for girls' school and boys' school, once they started playing the sport regularly in their school, attendance went up. So immediately we saw people are enjoying school more, so now they're going to, enjoying it more, so they're going to school more. But I think the biggest difference we found was recently, when we would encourage girls to play sport regularly, but when we recently started hardball cricket for girls, I see the change in how the boys see the girls in that community now. Because previously it was case that girls are doing their netball and they're doing their own things, and we are the tough, manly, that's our role. Once the girls are playing hardball cricket, and many of them are excelling and beating the boys in some instances, the way these young boys, impressionable young 10, 12-year-old boys, see these girls is now changed. So we are really pushing this hard because we want that societal change where the boys see girls as equals, not as inferior, inferior gender, like previously was what they was propagated there. So I can definitely see the societal change. So previously, when we had girls were playing sports, the parents were okay with it, but they weren't really, keen on. They wouldn't come to the matches. They wouldn't come and see them in their uniforms. It was a bit, कि आप करवा रहे हैं ठीक है, को school अच्छा है. But now, especially with cricket, because it's a popular sport there, now all the same parents who would complain to us, why I'm not comfortable with this, are now the biggest cheerleaders, yelling and supporting their girls in the matches we hold in Lodha now when a team comes from Lahore. So this, using sport to have this societal change has been amazing to see, and I'm very, very proud of it, and something we're really pushing now in the future as well.
Jose, my apologies for another football reference, but we see Manchester United is a club based in Manchester, but we have a chapter of Manchester United fan club in Pakistan.
The fan base of Man U here.
In local markets, local normal markets, we get to see shirts of Real Madrid and Barca selling cheaply.
No, but I think you got it right. Man U here in Pakistan is crazy.
Yeah, it is.
People like to suffer here.
Yeah, we do. So, how do you see this phenomenon of sports unifying different communities, different nations, and different people?
I mean, there's no secret that you don't need to do anything. Sport does it itself. You look like, if you go to, for example, Chitral, which is an area that I know quite well, if you get a tournament there, you're getting villages from all the area, you're getting friends seeing seeing other friends that maybe they haven't seen for a long time. You go to the Poly Festival in Chandur. I mean, it's insane. It's a sport, and it just unifies. It's no secret. It's been done, since the Greek times, where they had these events, just the sport does it itself. You don't need to do anything. You need to promote it and help it grow. That's.
Marina, for you, I'll just rephrase this question. You were a very small group of women started playing cricket. So how was that camaraderie and that helped put Pakistan women cricket on the map and become a factor of promoting that game in here in Pakistan?
Well, I seriously don't have words for that camaraderie because we all had one thing in common, that was passion for cricket. And regardless of where we were playing, what the facilities were, what the grounds were, what the accommodations were, what the equipment was, all we wanted to do was play cricket and represent Pakistan. That was one passion that actually led us and actually made us as a group unified, and then obviously work towards our goal. And I think at that time, when I do look at the younger generation, I find that missing because now there are a lot of distractions. It's a good thing to have obviously financial security and more facilities coming in. But again, when you as a group struggle from zero, you build each and everything. I think that's really important, that makes you understand that where you're going, what your goal is. And then you as a group, help each other to understand what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. And I think that actually builds up a team, because we knew our teammates' strengths and struggle, they knew ours, and that actually helped to understand, find the right combinations where we could go out and play against Australia and win by 1 run, even back then when Australia was one of the biggest teams. So I think the main factor, like Jose said, and you mentioned, that sports obviously unifies. It doesn't matter what your background is, what your political views are, what do you feel about certain things or not, but when you're in ground, when you're as a group, you have one goal, and that is to represent Pakistan, and one passion, that is to play cricket. I think it leaves everything out. And then when you start to understand each other on a human level, फिर आप इन चीज़ों को भी आप counter कर लेते हो. You have discussions going on कि क्या आपके political views हैं, क्या चीज़ें हैं, and that actually opens up an avenue of different ideologies. And that's where sports is not just about the physical activity. I think कि आपको emotionally भी ये develop करती है, intellectually भी ये आपको develop करती है, because you have those conversations कि okay, अभी एक certain match की scenario आ गई, इसमें से कैसे निकलें. And all of your 11 players have different ideologies, different tactics, different mindsets, and then you discuss कि okay, I wasn't thinking about it, इसके mind में ये आया, so that's another way to think. I think overall, I think the importance of sports, I actually like to emphasize, is not just physical, it's more about intellectual and emotional maturity, because वहाँ पे आप understand करते हो. And again, whenever all these differences are left aside and you have one goal, you will flourish towards it.
And our Pakistan women's team managed to beat India in a World Cup game years before men's team could do that. So the narrative of gender in sports has witnessed significant evolution. How can industry further this progress and ensure inclusivity and representation at all levels? Marina, I'll start with you. Initially, we saw men cricketers dominating the scene on the field and off the field as well, even in broadcast. But we have seen many examples. In PSL, we managed to have an all-women commentary panel as well. And ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Muhammad Hafiz is here, former Pakistan captain. So, how do you see this shift, being part of this shift yourself as well?
Well, I'm very delighted now, because I know where I started, where my team started. I think there was just a matter of just having a women's cricket team, that was all about it, back in 2005. But now, even with the limited resources, we won a lot of things. We won 2 gold medals. We beat almost every team except for Australia. And then the shift actually started, okay, these girls can do something. They have the passion. And talking about what Ali mentioned, ke early on हमारे matches लड़कों के साथ होते थे. And I remember हमारा पहला match as a Pakistan team Shafqat Rana Academy होती थी. So we asked, our coach Mansoor Rana asked to send a boys team कि उन्होंने पाकिस्तान टीम से compete करना है, and they actually sent under 13 teams, just thinking कि यार ये लड़कियाँ क्या खेलेंगी, and we beat them with a huge margin. So it was three match series. Next match में they actually sent their under 16 team, उनको भी हमने beat कर दिया. By the third match they actually realized कि नहीं यार ये लड़कियाँ कुछ कर सकती हैं, then they sent their actual team. And I think obviously जिस तरह का structure provide किया जाता है, it depends a lot on the environment, I would again emphasize, and structure. We need to provide a basic structure and acceptance that, again I'll emphasize on it, that women can have any sport as a profession. That is really important, क्योंकि हम बाकी fields को ज़रूर इस चीज़ पे करते हैं और उसमें proud feel करते हैं कि our daughter is a lawyer or doctor or anything. But when it comes, even I've suffered this, कि मेरे relatives पूछते थे कि आप क्या करते हो? I said I'm a cricketer, and they said अच्छा वो तो खेल है, आप वैसे क्या आप किया, professionally क्या करते हो? And I said I'm a cricketer, I earn through cricket. तो वो ये जो स्टिग्मा है, ये जब इसमें एक्सेप्टेंस आ जाएंगी कि नहीं स्पोर्ट्स की फील्ड भी एज अ फीमेल आप एज अ प्रोफेशन ले सकते हो, आई थिंक दैट विल एक्चुअली टर्न अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स एंड देन एवरी फीमेल वुड feel proud कि okay, I'm opting for this sport and I can make my name and also make Pakistan's name in the world.
ये अंडर 16 वाले मैच के बाद मेरे भाई ने आके कहा था कि भाई समझ ही नहीं हुआ क्या हमारे साथ. So Ali, I'll come to you. Bringing first women general manager of a men's team in South Asia, introducing women's coaching panel in PSL, and then usse pehle there's a history of working on girl child education, and then introducing women academy for women cricket. So how has this all started, and what's next?
I've always been a big proponent of gender equality in every aspect, especially in sports now, because this is the platform I have. So I've tried to use this platform to show that there can be gender equality. All you need to do is give them people an opportunity. So we're very proud that we're the first team that has a female general manager of the men's team, and we've also hired 2 female coaches. Again, first time in PSL, so we're very happy with it. I'm a big believer in the phrase, you can't be what you can't see. In PSL, the most famous girl we would see who's really made a name for herself out of nowhere is Zainab Abbas. And she was really the first one to break through in men's cricket as an icon, which she's become now. So a lot of young girls I would meet who were interested in cricket would say, we want to be a cricket presenter. We want to be like Zainab, because she became the role model. So everyone started thinking about being, that, because they saw that as a pathway in men's cricket, in international cricket. So Hijab Zahid, who is our general manager now, initially when I met her, she also said that my goal is to be like Zainab, because that's what she saw and that's what she wanted to be. When we spoke to her and offered her the general manager role, one day my hope is that people will see Hijab on TV and say, I want to be like Hijab. I want to be a general manager in cricket, not just a presenter. Similarly, with the female coaches we're hiring, hopefully, inshallah, people like Marina and other ex-cricketers will say, we want to coach, not just we're cricketers, we can coach men, we can coach women. So we're really hoping that these examples encourage more women to think that they can achieve more than just what they've done so far. So that is the goal.
Jose, you have worked in places like Chitral, Rawalpindi, Islamabad, and I'm sure other places as well. So how do you see the potential of women athlete in Pakistan?
Well, it's there, but I don't think they have the same, especially in rural areas. I think for when you're talking about women's sport, you have to separate Lahore, Karachi, and Islamabad, because in the other areas is very different. I think there is a bigger influence of religion, and somehow they think like they have to do it closed doors or something. So I just think it's question. I couldn't agree more with the words. They can't do what they can't see. So I think it's a question of normalizing it. 3 years ago when I proposed bringing some female coach to Chitral, they thought I was crazy. We won last year. There were 2 girls, coaching the boys there. No one even raised an eyebrow, nothing. But what 3 years ago seemed impossible, I promise, we made it happen. I spoke with who I needed to speak to make sure, they were safe and all that. And at the end of the 3 days, you show the guys, give them a high five. So if you normalize, and we're talking about young kids, that a girl, they can learn a lot from a girl, then, immediately you're normalizing that. Ideally, the next stage will be to hold a girls' camp where men and women can see them, because we did it, but it was in their school, in closed doors, and I was like, make it public. Maybe the first time a woman ran a marathon, it was crazy, but even the runners were hiding her, and then she reached the point. Look, we're coming closer to gender equality, but it's not really there. But it's the women who have to push for that. And
there's no equal starting line.
I think it is. Actually, I just think it's a question of seeing it, believing it, and doing it. Look, if you can't just sit and complain, you have to.
Yeah. No.
One point I want to add to Jose's point. So it is definitely harder to do it in the rural areas, especially bringing women in as coaches. But the first time we did a fast bowling camp with a female coach, it was in Lodra, which is a very rural area. And initially she was the assistant coach of a male coach, and they just thought she's just going to assist in setting up stuff. When the demonstrations came, she would do every demonstration. And the players were in awe of how good her technique was. And when they saw, just in the second day, when they saw that this female coach can add value, once players know that a coach is adding value, they don't really mind where it's coming from. So I think once you show them, the acceptability becomes very easy then.
That's exactly. we're talking about what, in 5 minutes they understood. You could have 20 talks like this, 20, I mean, and you wouldn't get there. It just takes doing it and then normalizing it. It's not.
फीस भाई, I'll come to you now. हमारे यहाँ हमने देखा है कि स्पोर्ट्स पीपल का देयर आर लाइक द बिगेस्ट सेलिब्रिटी है इन पाकिस्तान. उनका बड़ा इन्फ्लुएंस होता है ऑन सोसाइटी एंड ऑल. सो हाउ कैन द स्पोर्टिंग डोमेन जो है वो अपना इन्फ्लुएंस यूज़ कर सकती है टू ब्रिंग अ सोशल चेंज इन पाकिस्तान, एंड नॉट जस्ट इन स्पोर्ट्स बट आउटसाइड स्पोर्ट्स एरिया एज वेल?
बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम. सबसे पहले तो मैं बता दूं, मैं लेट नहीं हूं. मैंने प्रॉमिस ही 2 बजे का किया था. ठीक है जी,
वो मैंने बता दिया था.
नहीं, मैं फिर इसके आगे चलते ना, यहाँ से आगे चलते.
ठीक है.
अच्छा देखें, इम्पॉर्टेंट पार्ट जो है ना वो ये है कि इन लाइफ यू फर्स्ट विजुअलाइज थिंग्स. आप पहले सोचते हैं और फिर आप उसके मुताबिक कमिटमेंट के साथ, एक स्ट्रगल के साथ उसको अचीव करने के लिए, आप अपनी ज़िंदगी का मकसद हासिल करने के लिए उसकी कोशिश करते हैं. मैंने अपने साथ जितने मेरे दोस्त जिन्होंने क्रिकेट खेली, अगर मैं उनकी भी स्टोरी यहाँ पे बात करूँ तो हर जगह पे जाके एक चीज़ रुक जाती है कि पहले आप सोचते हैं. लाइक आई केम फ्रॉम अ एरिया विच वॉज नॉट बीन वेरी फेमस फॉर द क्रिकेट. सरगोदा से मेरा ताल्लुक है, मैंने खेला और पढ़ा सरगोदा से. बाय बर्थ आई एम फ्रॉम लाहौर बट माई स्टडी एंड एजुकेशन वॉज फ्रॉम सरगोदा. एंड द पीपल वर नेवर थॉट दैट फ्रॉम लाइक समवन कैन रिप्रेजेंट पाकिस्तान फ्रॉम दैट पार्ट, क्योंकि उनको लगता था कि वी कैन ओनली बी अ वन ऑफ द पार्टिसिपेंट ऑफ द टूर्नामेंट. अपना टाइम पास करो एंड देन गो अवे. और मैक्सिमम जो अचीव करना चाहते थे, दे वांटेड टू गो टू इंग्लैंड. वहाँ पे लीग क्रिकेट खेलो, दैट्स इट, अर्न सम बक्स एंड देन कम बैक. मुझे समहाउ अल्लाह ने ये हिम्मत दी कि मैंने ये सोचा कि व्हाई नॉट समवन फ्रॉम सरगोदा, क्यों नहीं कोई छोटे इलाके से बड़ा इंटरनेशनल लेवल का प्लेयर बन सकता. तो मैंने वो सोच ली. आई वेंट टू माई पेरेंट्स, क्योंकि मैं ऑब्वियसली आई एम ऑल्सो अ फादर ऑफ 3 kids, सो आई अंडरस्टैंड दैट द माइंड सेट ऑफ द अनफॉर्चुनेटली सोसाइटी सो फार इन पाकिस्तान कि हर माँ बाप अपने बच्चे को डॉक्टर इंजीनियर ही देखना चाहता है, उसके काम आने ही नहीं है. क्योंकि हमारी अनफॉर्चुनेटली वो नेवर थॉट टू डेवलप अ स्पोर्ट्स कल्चर इन पाकिस्तान. जो मरीना ने बात की, शायद इनके अंकल और मेरे अंकल जो हैं आपस में दोस्त थे, बिकॉज आई वाज सिटिंग विद माई फादर और मेरे अंकल आए और मुझे कहते, मेरा निक नेम चंदा है, तो मुझे कहते बचपन में, लाइक आई वाज ओनली 18-17 ईयर्स दैट टाइम, जब मैंने सोचा कि मैंने क्रिकेट खेलनी है, तो मैंने उनसे बात कर रहा था तो मुझे कहते यार चंदा तू करदा की है. आई एम फ्रॉम पंजाबी, तो पंजाबी भी बोलूँगा जी, आप थोड़ा बर्दाश्त कर लीजिएगा. मुझे कहते कि जी चंदा तू करदा की है. मैं कह जी मैं क्रिकेट खेलता हूँ. कहते यार वो तो सारे खेलते हैं, तू करदा की है. अब मैं उनको ये समझा ही नहीं सका, मैं बता ही नहीं सका कि स्पोर्ट्स या क्रिकेट मेरी ज़िंदगी का एक वो ख्वाब है जो मैं अचीव करना चाहता हूँ, जिसको मैं रिप्रेजेंट करना चाहता हूँ इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे. और वो कमी आज भी है. इफ़ यू गो अराउंड एवरीवेयर इन पाकिस्तान, द पेरेंट्स स्टिल थिंक द ओनली बेस्ट वे टू बी अ सक्सेसफुल पर्सन इज़ टू educate. Absolutely, education is one of the very important part of the life, लेकिन it's not everything. You can educate yourself in many other ways of the life. लेकिन हमें ये लगता है कि सिर्फ पढ़ना लिखना है वही सब कुछ है. मैंने ज़ाती तौर पर बहुत से ऐसे पढ़े लिखे डिग्री होल्डर जाहिल देखे हैं, और बहुत ज़्यादा ऐसे लोग जिन्होंने डिग्री हासिल नहीं की वो बहुत ज़्यादा मिच्योर बातें करते हैं. तो ये अनफॉर्चुनेट है कि हमारे यहाँ पे डिग्री को सब कुछ समझा जाता है. एक जो मिसिंग पार्ट है जो मैं अभी यहाँ पे बात करूँगा कि एजुकेशनल सेटअप के अंदर हम ट्रेनिंग नहीं देते. हम एजुकेट कर रहे हैं लेकिन उनकी ट्रेनिंग नहीं कर रहे कि एक अच्छा इंसान होने के लिए हाउ टू बिहेव. आपको ज़रूरी नहीं है कि डिग्री हासिल करना ही सब कुछ है. तो मेरे लिए मैं ये समझता हूँ कि लाइफ के अंदर आप विजुअलाइज करते हैं पहले, एंड देन यू स्टार्ट योर वर्क लाइक यू स्टार्ट योर हार्ड वर्क ऑन इट, और फिर आप आहिस्ता आहिस्ता एक रिजिलियंट एटीट्यूड के साथ वहाँ तक पहुँचते हैं. क्योंकि बहुत सी जगह ऐसी आती हैं, जैसे अभी आई एम श्योर सब ने इस पर बात भी शायद कर ली हो, कि जो ज़िंदगी के अंदर रिजिलियंट एटीट्यूड है ना, दैट इज़ द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट. क्योंकि बहुत सी जगहों पे ऐसे फेलियर आप फेस करते हैं जहाँ पे आप दिल बर्दाश्त हो जाते हैं. आई हैव सीन मैनी क्रिकेटर्स, जब वो सिलेक्ट नहीं हुए तो उन्होंने आके बल्ले तोड़ दिए, उन्होंने बैग जला दिए. यू मस्ट हैव हर्ड दिस स्टोरीज मैनी टाइम कि जी मुझे मौका नहीं मिला, लाइक, और मुझे उसके बाद मुझे गुस्सा चढ़ा और मैंने क्रिकेट ही छोड़ दी. वहीं से तो आपकी लाइफ की मैच्योरिटी स्टार्ट होती है, जहाँ पे यू स्टार्ट थिंकिंग कि अगर मुझे कोई इस काबिल नहीं समझ रहा तो मैंने उसको काबिल बन के दिखाना है. तो वो जो रगड़ लगती है आपकी, दैट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. वो बेसिकली रगड़ें आपको शाइन कर रही होती हैं. तो मुझे ये लगता है कि आपको विजुअलाइज करना, आपका हार्ड वर्क करना, विद द सेम टाइम आपकी लाइफ के अंदर अचीवमेंट तब आएगी जब आप इन सारे प्रोसेस से गुजरेंगे. लेकिन जो इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट जो सोशल माइंडसेट को बदलने का है, दैट कम्स फ्रॉम एवरी इंडिविजुअल, रादर देन कि हम सोचें गवर्नमेंट ने कभी कुछ नहीं किया. अनफॉर्चुनेटली हमारे यहाँ पे गवर्नमेंट किसी और मकसद के लिए आते हैं, वो अपना काम करते हैं और चले जाते हैं. यहाँ पे सोशल लाइफ की जो प्रॉब्लम्स हैं उसको एड्रेस नहीं किया जाता. हम सब लोग वो लोग हैं जो अपनी पर्सनल कैपेसिटी के ऊपर कोशिश करते हैं कि यार इफ़ आई कैन बी वन ऑफ द पर्सन हु कैन ब्रिंग अ चेंज, व्हाई नॉट. और मैं ये बात कर रहा हूँ कि मेरे 3 बच्चे हैं एंड आई एम गिविंग देम ऑल द सपोर्ट वट एवर दे वांटेड टू बी. कोई आप पढ़ लिख के डॉक्टर बनना चाहता है, आई एम ऑल्सो विल गो फॉर दैट. और अगर कोई स्पोर्ट्स में आना चाहता है, आई ऑल्सो विल इंकरेज देम, रादर देन कि मैं ये सोचूं एज ए फादर कि सिर्फ एक ही गोल है कि डिग्री हासिल कर लो लेकिन तरबियत ना हुई हो, लेकिन वो कामयाब इंसान ना बने. अच्छे ह्यूमन जो है वो बनना ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है. तो मुझे लगता है कि एक कलेक्टिव एफर्ट की ज़रूरत है. एवरी इंडिविजुअल हैव टू प्ले अ पार्ट इन दैट, कि वो उस गोल की तरफ जिसको हम लोग चाह रहे हैं कि अचीव हो जाए, जिसमें वीमेन को भी उतना ही मौके मिलें जितने मेल ओरिएंटेड ये जो सोसाइटी है उसको मिलते हैं. तो ये हमें इंकरेज करना पड़ेगा. जब तक इंकरेज नहीं करेंगे चीज़ें ठीक नहीं होगी.
Jose, I'll come to you. What do you think sports personality with their substantial influence can do to bring about social change?
Sports personality.
With their substantial influence can do with to bring about social change?
Social change
From any perspective, onside.
No, I mean, I think they can inspire young players. Absolutely, they can pave the path, you know, for them to become that. But I mean, children should be encouraged to do sport regardless, right? They'll have time for that. But first, you have to get them on functioning, provide them the facilities, provide them infrastructure. I think that's more important, you know, than following a role model. That will get there.
So my last question for all of you, building upon what Hafiz Bhai said, there are challenges, of course, in bringing about that sports-centric mindset here in Pakistan, and there are challenges to promote a sport in Pakistan. But as a domain expert, what is your perspective? What can we do to change this? What kind of initiatives we can bring to navigate through it? Ali, I'll start with you.
I think whenever someone has a platform, it's their responsibility on how they can use that platform for good. So, and everyone here on this panel, I can see them doing that, using their platform for good. So, a great example would be Hafiz Bhai. As whenever people are watching cricket, you are guided by your heroes, and Hafiz Bhai is a hero to many of us. So, when we see him on cricket, at least when I see him on these shows, the way he reacts to a defeat for the national team, or if someone isn't playing well, he usually has a very positive mindset. He's not saying, oh, yeah, ये player ही फारेगा, इसको ये करो, या मेरा ये जाने वाला इसको मेरे करना चाहिए. He has no agenda. So when you see these people taking it in a positive way, speaking in logical terms, talking about merit, this is the kind of stuff that will influence society. So hopefully when they're watching cricket, they will also try to have the same approach that their hero Muhammad Hafiz had. So I think when you see these people and how they take things, that has a big impact. So with us, what we're using our platform for is to bring about gender equality by saying, you know, if there are very capable women in Pakistan, why aren't we giving them the opportunity to be general managers, to be coaches, to be analysts? So everyone can use the platform for good, and I think that's our responsibility.
I'll obviously extend what Ali and Hafiz Bhai said, because again, we being on this platform, we have the reach to talk a lot about things, and I think I feel कि मेरी अगर मैं अपनी personally बात करूँ बहुत ज़्यादा responsibility है, क्योंकि मेरे पास platforms हैं और especially जितना अब exposure है, we've got smartphones, we've got TikToks and apps and all that. So me getting out there and saying something has a lot of impact. So I think जो आपने पहले भी बात की कि how can we actually initiate social differences, it's also about educating your audience, and वो कहते हैं ना कि अपने हीरोज और आइडल्स को बहुत सोच के पिक करना चाहिए. सो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि आइडल्स को भी क्या कहना है क्या नहीं कहना, किस टॉपिक पे किस तरह बात करनी है, ये भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. इट्स नॉट जस्ट अबाउट द ऑडियंस टू चूज देम, इट्स अबाउट आवर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी एज वेल कि हम उस चीज़ को किस तरह पॉइंट आउट कर रहे हैं. क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ पे स्पेशली सब कॉन्टिनेंट में अगर बात करें कि आइडल्स को दे लिटरली आर बीइंग वर्शिप्ड. सो वट एवर दे डू, इवन वो क्या ब्रांड पहनते क्या नहीं पहनते, किस टॉपिक पे कैसे एजुकेट कर रहे हैं, किस तरह रिएक्ट कर रहे हैं, ये बहुत ज़्यादा अब इम्पैक्ट करता है. आई थिंक दैट even I feel very responsible whenever I go there. I talk to media, I go to schools and visit schools, and I talk to younger generation. I think about it very hardly कि मैंने क्या चीज़ बात करनी है क्या नहीं. And again, when we talk about challenges, we are the role models. जैसे हफीज़ भाई की बात की, इन्होंने जब वो एक सरगोदा से सोचा कि यार मैं बड़े होके कुछ कर सकता हूँ, that story कहीं ना कहीं जो भी लोग इस सेमिनार को देख रहे होंगे, जो यहाँ भी प्रेजेंट हैं और बाहर भी हैं, वो एक हिट ज़रूर करेगी, एक इंस्पायर किसी को ज़रूर करेगी कि इफ़ ही कैन थिंक एंड ही कैन अचीव माशाल्लाह सो मेनी अचीवमेंट्स इज़ डन इट, तो मैं क्यों नहीं कर सकता. So again, I think it's very important with people who have reach. It's not about all the celebrities. If you guys are going into a circle and you're having discussions, important to be very clear about what discussions you are having. Obviously challenges हैं, as a society, as a culture, हम लोग challenges face करते हैं, चाहे वो sports हो या दूसरी fields हो. But उन challenges को हमने उसका solution भी हमने ही निकालना है. कोई बाहर से आके नहीं निकालेगा. And it's just about one single step. It's about inspiring someone. It's about having a talk with someone. क्या पता कि आपकी एक discussion से आप एक solution उस बंदे को दे दो जो वो ढूंढ रहा है. So I think it's about all us as a society individually, हमारी responsibility है कि challenges के लिए solution ढूंढना है. Just not sit there and criticize कि हाँ भी ये issue है, issue हर जगह है. But इस issue के बारे में आप क्या कर सकते हो, it's your responsibility and you have the ability to do so. Whether you choose it or not, it's entirely up to you.
So, Jose, inspiring others, so what do you think? What initiatives can be taken?
I think in this country politics are very intertwined with sports, right? It's very important to differentiate sports and politics. I mean, you guys have politics, breakfast, lunch, dinner. I mean, it's crazy. And the only problem, I mean, this could work if you have someone in the sports department who's a politician and who is for sports. The problem here is that I've dealt with quite enough to say that those people, they don't care. They just want to see their grade go up, probably 1 or 2 stages in that position, and they have zero interest for sports and more for like networking or what can they get out of it, instead of what can I give from this position, which many of them have the power to like really raise the levels. My experience, again, maybe I met 1, 2 persons but they're in a position who can't go any further, but at the top positions, they're not that much interested in the promotion of sports. Unfortunately.
That's very unfortunate. Hafiz bhai, you have explained it in your talk, but अगर हम किसी solution की बात करना चाहें, तो क्या solution आप as an dominant domain expert देना चाहेंगे इसके ऊपर? क्या
regarding कौन सा solution?
किसी भी खेल को हमारे यहाँ प्रमोट करने में जो आपने challenges बताए हैं वो हैं, उनके लिए अगर आप in short क्या solution है? सबसे पहले तो किसी problem को problem समझना is the first shortest term solution.
सबसे पहले solution ये है कि problem समझी जाए कि ये problem है, पहले तो मान ली जाए ना, क्योंकि अक्सर लोग ये समझते नहीं हैं कि ये issue है. मुझे लगता है कि देखें स्पोर्ट्स कल्चर की डेवलपमेंट स्टार्ट होगी पॉलिसीज़ के साथ, और हमें वो पॉलिसीज़ बनानी पड़ेंगी गवर्नमेंट लेवल पे. मुझे सबसे ज़्यादा लाइक आई एम 43 और मैंने लाइफ के अंदर तकरीबन 20-22-23 साल से प्रोफेशनल लाइफ के अंदर मैं इन्वॉल्व हूँ. आई नेवर सीन एनी गवर्नमेंट होल्डिंग द सीट एंड ब्रिंगिंग एनी रिफॉर्म्स इन द सोसाइटी व्हेन इट कम्स टू डील विद दिस, टू इनकरेज द स्पोर्ट्स पर्सन. यहाँ पे स्पोर्ट्स को कभी भी एक इंडस्ट्री के तौर पर डील नहीं किया गया. और सबसे ज़्यादा डिसअपॉइंटमेंट मुझे जो हुई वो लास्ट गवर्नमेंट के अंदर हुई, क्योंकि वो हमारे अपने थे. मुझे लगता था कि यार एटलीस्ट और कोई करे ना करे, कम से कम वहाँ से ये रिफॉर्म्स आनी चाहिए कि वो स्पोर्ट्स कल्चर की डेवलपमेंट की को कोशिश तो करें. वो भी नहीं हुआ अनफॉर्चुनेटली. तो मुझे लगता है सबसे पहले तो गवर्नमेंट लेवल पे पॉलिसीज़ ऐसी बने जहाँ पे हम लोग सब इक्वल अपॉर्चुनिटी के साथ ग्रो कर सकें और स्पोर्ट्स कल्चर की डेवलपमेंट कर सकें. और अगर वो कहीं पे भी नहीं हो पा रहा, फ़र्ज़ करें अभी तक वो कतरा भी नहीं गिरा वो बारिश का, तो एटलीस्ट मैं वो कतरा बनने की कोशिश करूँ अपनी पर्सनल कैपेसिटी में कि अगर लोग मुझे 2, 5, 10, 50 जितने भी लोग मुझे पसंद करते हैं, आई कैन बी अ रोल मॉडल फॉर देम इन अ राइट वे, कि मैं उनको इनकरेज करूँ इन अ पॉजिटिव वे रादर दैन टू डिस्करेज देम. क्योंकि सबसे पहले सोच ये आती है कि आई बिलोंग टू अ वेरी बैकवर्ड बैकग्राउंड या कोई ऐसा इलाका जो अंडर प्रिविलेज एरियाज़ हैं, हमें लगता है कि यार वहाँ से कोई बंदा जो है ग्रो नहीं कर सकता. एंड अली इज़ वन ऑफ द एग्जाम्पल कि ये जिस इलाके की बात हमेशा करते हैं, उसको इनकरेज करते हैं, लोधरा से, वो एक छोटा इलाका है लेकिन ही इज़ प्रोवाइडिंग द फैसिलिटीज़, क्योंकि ये वो कर सकते हैं. तो इस तरह के इन्फ्लुएंशियल बंदों को सामने आने की ज़रूरत है, और वहाँ के लोगों के माइंड सेट बदलने के लिए वहाँ का कोई भी आइकॉन, फ़र्ज़ करिए आपके इलाके के अंदर कोई भी ऐसा जो पाकिस्तान लेवल की रिप्रेजेंटेशन कर चुका है इन एनी स्पोर्ट्स, वो इंकरेज करे लोगों को कि कम फॉरवर्ड एंड ट्राई योर लेवल बेस्ट. वंस यू विल नॉट ट्राई यू विल नेवर गेट सक्सेस. तो मुझे लगता है कि इंडिविजुअल लेवल के ऊपर हमें एज ए आइकॉन या एज ए सब्सटेंशियल अगर हमारे पास कोई ऐसी पावर मौजूद है तो हम उसको इस्तेमाल करें इन अ राइट वे. क्योंकि अगर पॉलिसी का इंतज़ार करते रहेंगे तो शायद हमारी कई जनरेशन्स गुजर जाएँ. लेकिन हमें इंडिविजुअल बेसिस के ऊपर अपनी सोसाइटी की इम्प्रूवमेंट के लिए, स्पोर्ट्स कल्चर की डेवलपमेंट के लिए ख़ुद से कोशिश करने की ज़रूरत है. और उसके अंदर अपना एक स्टेप, एक कतरा भी अगर हम डाल सकते हैं तो उसकी कोशिश करनी चाहिए.
Last 10 minutes of this session have been kept for the audience questions. So first question is very interesting one. Sports teaches us courage and commitment. How can we inculcate this spirit in our young generation? Marina?
Well, I think the only way to do that is let them play sports. क्योंकि again मैं बात कहूँगी as a society हमने academics को एक तरफ रखा हुआ है और sports को दूसरी तरफ रखा हुआ है. These two are obviously related, and academics and sport actually makes life and character. So I think वही बात है कि जो मैंने की थी कि आपके घर से environment start होता है. बहुत मुश्किल है आजकल की जनरेशन को मोबाइल फ़ोन से दूर रखना, बट उसके कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस हमें कुछ अरसे में, कुछ सालों बाद समझ आने शुरू होंगे, अब भी आ रहे हैं. तो आई थिंक इनिशिएटिव एज अ पेरेंट लेना बहुत ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि आई फील कि मेरे पेरेंट्स ने हमें एक फिक्स टाइम होता था कि 5 बजे जाके बाहर खेलो, जैसी मगरूब होगी वापस आ जाओ. एंड विद दैट, क्योंकि वो आपकी ऑब्वियसली हैबिट बन जाती है, आपको आप जाके इंटरेक्ट करते हो दूसरे बच्चों के साथ, स्कूल कॉलेजेस में आप खेलते हो, तो जितना आप आउटडोर एक्टिविटीज़ को आप करेंगे, ऑब्वियसली उसको प्रमोट करेंगे. ये वही थिंकिंग है, जब तक इंटरेक्शन नहीं होगा, जब तक फेलियर्स का सामना नहीं होगा, सक्सेसेस का सामना नहीं होगा, चैलेंजेस का सामना नहीं होगा, आपका कैरेक्टर बिल्ड नहीं होता. एंड इट्स नॉट जस्ट अबाउट स्पोर्ट, ये एक आपकी पूरी लाइफ, आपकी पूरी कैरेक्टर शेप अप करती है. और ये जब आप स्पोर्ट्स में आते हो, आपको कुछ अरसे के बाद ये चीज़ समझ आती है. फिर आप जिस तरह लाइफ हैंडल करते हो, जो आप लाइफस्टाइल अपनाते हो, वो स्पोर्ट्स में आपकी कितनी मदद करती है वो आपको बाद में होता है. तो ऑब्वियसली the more you can encourage younger generation to go out and interact and play sports, the better it is for our future.
Jose, I'll come to you. How to inculcate courage and commitment in young generation?
Sorry?
How to inculcate courage and commitment in young generation?
Just by allowing them and providing them with the tools to do sports. Sports itself does it. You don't need to it's there. Sports itself is the teacher that does it. You just need to facilitate it for them.
मैं यहाँ पे एक बात कर दूँ कि देखिए, मैंने सारी ज़िंदगी क्रिकेट खेली. मुझसे 1-2 मरतबा सवाल हुआ, मैं फिर ये कहूँगा कि जो मरीना ने बात की है कि हम सब लोग अपनी अपनी एजुकेशन से सीखते हैं, इसमें कोई शक नहीं. लेकिन स्पोर्ट्स इतनी खूबसूरत एक टीचर है, कोई भी स्पोर्ट्स आप खेलें, वो आपको एक कंप्लीट पैकेज बनाती है, एक कंप्लीट इंसान बनाती है. और मुझे कई मरतबा पूछा जाता है कि अगर मुझे दोबारा ज़िंदगी मिले और मैं दोबारा से चाहूँ तो मैं दोबारा भी स्पोर्ट्स मैन ही बनना चाहूँगा, क्योंकि जो मेरी ज़िंदगी है, मैं आज जिस जगह पे जो भी बना हूँ वो मुझे स्पोर्ट्स ने सिखाया. हारना, हार के दोबारा अगले दिन उठ के मेहनत करना, फिर जीत को कैसे हम्बल रह के सेलिब्रेट करना है, हारने के बाद दिल बर्दाश्त नहीं होना, ये सारी चीज़ें आपको स्पोर्ट्स सिखाती है. तो स्पोर्ट्स से दूरी आप एक इंसानियत से दूर होने की एक निशानी है. तो यहाँ पे कल्चर के अंदर मुझे ये लगता है कि जो मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट पार्ट है वो ये है कि इंकरेज किया जाए, डिस्करेज ना किया जाए. अपने बच्चे को, अब चाहे वो बेटी है चाहे बेटा है, अपने बच्चे को इंकरेज करें कि वो स्पोर्ट्स के पास रहे. जितना वो स्पोर्ट्स से दूर होगा, उसकी मेंटल हेल्थ के ऊपर बहुत बुरे असरात पड़ेंगे. जो मरीना ने बात की है कि नाउ डेज एवरीवन इज़ इनटू मोबाइल्स, लेकिन ये एक ऐसी अनफॉर्चुनेट चीज़ हमारे सोसाइटी में, क्या पूरी दुनिया में डेवलप हुई है, कि हम इसकी तरफ अट्रैक्ट कर गए हैं और अपना वो टाइम जो हम स्पोर्ट्स को दे सकते हैं वो नहीं देते. लेकिन आई इंकरेज एवरी पेरेंट कि वो अपने बच्चों को, या वो ज़रूर इंकरेज करें कि वो जाएं, स्पोर्ट्स खेलें और लर्न करें लाइफ को.
Ali, I'll bring this question to you. Multiple levels के ऊपर international coaches को लाना, uplift the multiple sports in Pakistan and create better players for in the next decade or so. Or national coaches can do a bit better. You brought some international coaches to your whole section. So how do you see that?
Yeah, the question being the impact of international coaches in sports versus local coaches. I think in Pakistan, because the sports system is so underdeveloped in every sport, even cricket, because दो किस्म की कोचिंग होती हैं. You either have like the head coach of your main team. That coach is more of a strategist. If you need technical coaches like the stuff Jose is providing in his academy, that's at the grassroots level. Because in Pakistan, grassroots level technical coaches don't really exist who have the level 4, level 3, level 4 coaching. Our curriculum isn't really that established or up to date. So if you need technical coaches, unfortunately you don't have them regularly available in Pakistan, especially who are trained to work with kids. So you get ex-cricketers who are technically good themselves, but because they haven't learned as someone who doesn't know how to do it, they can't really teach to these young kids. So I think it's definitely a great quick solution is you get an international coach and you put your local coaches with that coach. So that international coach is not just teaching the kids but teaching the coaches. So whenever we bring in foreigners in our academy, we always put at least 4 coaches with that coach. So they become the coaches once that coach goes back. However long they stay, eventually they will go back one day and then the local coaches take over. We've done this at every level in Multan Sultans. We had Andy Flower for 5 years, assisted by the wonderful Abdul Rahman, who has now stepped up and become the head coach. Similarly, now we have Catherine Dalton coming in as a fast bowling coach. Hopefully she will train 3 or 4 fast bowling coaches in Pakistan who can continue her work after she goes. So I really believe in the combination.
Jose, your thoughts on that?
I fully agree. How about coaching the coaches so they know how to coach? I mean, I think, I don't know why in Pakistan everyone thinks, oh, Gora or, oh, he's from outside, he's better. Like you go, any product, like this is Pakistani, this is foreign, no, I'll go for the foreign. No. I mean, we have to analyze, and I think it's much easier to train a bunch of national coaches to develop it that have one coach, you know what I mean, training a little group. And believe me, it's all embedded. I mean, the courses are there, and it's not that hard. We're talking about tiny steps that can really change the outcome. Most kids here, you go to most academies, I don't know if it happens the same in cricket, Ali or Mohammed, but they're teaching kids like adults. Like at that level, I think until a kid is 13, 14, it's a game. They're supposed to have fun, they're supposed to enjoy, they're supposed to go happy. Some of them, they look like military camps. Yaji, yaji, screaming at a 5-year-old kid, like, it's like, no, I mean, it's coach the coaches. It's easier.
Hafiz bhai, I'll come to you. In your illustrious career, you have played under foreign coaches, local coaches as well. When you were captain, we had a foreign coach at that time. So how do you see that approach?
देखिए, सबसे पहले तो ये माइंडसेट नहीं होना चाहिए कि पाकिस्तान में अच्छे कोचेज़ नहीं हैं. यहाँ पे बहुत अच्छे कोचेज़ हैं. अनफॉर्चुनेटली हमारी प्रायोरिटी रही है कि हमने बीच में बाहर के कोचेज़ को लाने का एक शौक़ भी था. अभी मैं आपको एक छोटी सी मिसाल देता हूँ. पाकिस्तान टीम के बॉलिंग कोच है मॉर्नी मोकल. ही इज़ अ ग्रेट बॉलर, वंडरफुल बॉलर. साउथ अफ्रीका के लिए बहुत अच्छा काम किया. सिमिलर ऑप्शन थी उमर गुल की. उमर गुल मौजूद था, उसको नहीं रखा गया क्योंकि वो पाकिस्तानी था. तो ये सोच नेगेटिव जो है ना, वो अनफॉर्चुनेटली सेटअप के अंदर मौजूद है. वो भी कोच है, उसने भी इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे कोचिंग की. अफगानिस्तान अगर उसको अपने साथ कोचिंग स्टेंट के लिए रख सकता 2 साल, हम क्यों नहीं रख रहे? तो हम डिस्करेज करते हैं. और एक मैं और बात बताऊँ, ये माइंडसेट की बात करता हूँ. हमारे एक्स चेयरमैन साहब थे, उन्होंने एक स्टेटमेंट दी. वो कहते जी कि पाकिस्तानी कोच जो हैं वो ऑनेस्ट नहीं है. और ये बात हम सब ने सुन ली, क्योंकि जो ऑडियंस बैठी थी, जो लोग बैठे थे, उन्होंने सुन लिया. वो कोचेज़ कहाँ के हैं? वो आपकी सोसाइटी के हैं. इसका मतलब है सोसाइटी जो है वो ऑनेस्ट नहीं है. तो फिर आप कैसे ऑनेस्ट हो गया? यू ऑल्सो बिलोंग टू द सेम सोसाइटी. तो मैं ये कहता हूँ कि अगर कोचेज़ बाहर के आने हैं तो चेयरमैन क्यों ना बाहर से आ जाए? तो ये माइंडसेट है. इट्स अनफॉर्चुनेट. हमें बाहर की, मैं ये नहीं कहता कि वो अच्छे नहीं है. दे ऑल्सो आर. कोच एक नेक इंसान है, वो आपकी हेल्प करने के लिए आता है, चाहे वो बाहर का हो चाहे लोकल हो. लेकिन ये माइंडसेट होल्ड जो करना है ये गलत है कि सिर्फ बाहर का कोच ही अच्छा है और पाकिस्तानी कोच अच्छा नहीं है. हमारे यहाँ पे बहुत पोटेंशियल है. बहुत अच्छे लोगों के साथ मैंने पाकिस्तान में काम किया है. अभी अली भाई ने जिनकी बात की, अब्दुल रहमान साहब, ही केम फ्रॉम अ सिस्टम. उन्होंने पिछले 15-20 साल में एक सिस्टम को सीखा है. एंड ही इज़ इंकरेजिंग हिम. एंड दैट्स इट्स हार्टनिंग टू सी कि समवन फ्रॉम अस अंडरस्टूड कि यार हमने अपने बंदों को प्रमोट करना है. और ये चीज़ अगर आप देखें तो इस तरह के बहुत से ऐसे मेहनती लोग, अच्छे कोच, वो छुपे हुए हैं और हमने कभी उनको मौका नहीं दिया. तो सबसे पहले ये माइंडसेट बदलने की ज़रूरत है. अगर हमारे पास पाकिस्तान में वो लोग मिल रहे हैं तो हमें उनको इंकरेज करना है. और अगर वाकई में हमें कहीं पे कमी है, जैसे मैं समझता हूँ कि पाकिस्तान में इस वक्त मेडिकल की बहुत ज़्यादा इश्यूज़ है, पाकिस्तान में अच्छे फिजियोज़ नहीं हैं, पाकिस्तान के अंदर अपडेटेड किस्म के रिहेबिलिटेशन प्रोग्राम करने वाले लोग नहीं हैं। लोग यहाँ पे इंजरी लेके, स्पोर्ट्स इंजरी जब किसी के पास जाते हैं तो डॉक्टर उसको सिर्फ एक हल बताते हैं, वो कहते हैं जी इसकी सर्जरी कर दो। वो बाहर की दुनिया में सबसे आखिरी हल है, तो वो जो उससे पहले के 15 या 20 प्रोसेस हैं जिसके थ्रू आप बेहतर हो सकते हैं, उसको अप्लाई नहीं किया जाता। तो अगर हमें वाकई में उसकी कोई ज़रूरत है तो आप ज़रूर करें, लेकिन अगर कोई बंदा यहाँ पे मौजूद है, जैसे मैंने एक छोटी सी मिसाल उमर गुल की दी, अगर वो मौजूद है तो हम उसको क्यों नहीं इंकरेज करते? सईद अजमल है, उसको हम क्यों नहीं इंकरेज करते? मिसबाउल हक है, यूनस खान है, मोहम्मद यूसुफ है। सो ऑल दीज गाइज आर द ग्रेट्स ऑफ द गेम। और अगर वो इंकरेज, अगर वो चाहते हैं कि वो आके इस खेल के अंदर अपना रोल प्ले करें इन अ डिफरेंट वे, तो हमें उनको इंकरेज करना चाहिए। लेकिन इस तरह की स्टेटमेंट्स किसी बड़े डेजिग्नेटेड बंदे से आए तो वो टू मी इज़ नॉट एक्सेप्टेबल।
It is a topic that we can go on, but time is up. So the time is up. We have to wrap it up. Thank you, Marina. Thank you, Ali. Thank you, Jose. Thank you, Hafiz Bhai. Thank you for being a wonderful audience. Thank you for being part of SOT 16 2020.